Assalamu alaikum, family, peace, and healing. And we are back for another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, I have an amazing guest joining me today, my beloved sister, Keyona Muhammad, as we will be discussing today's topic, ascending through beauty. Kiana, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you so much, Sister Angelica. I am wonderful. Thank you for having me on today. I'm excited to talk about this subject.
Yes, yes. So am I. Thank you again for joining me today, Kiana. Looking forward to this dialogue today. Now, before we get started on today's amazing topic, do you mind letting our audience know just a little bit more about you?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Keyona Muhammad. I currently reside in Dallas, Texas, from Columbus, Ohio. What I do, I am a cosmetologist here in Dallas, Texas. I own and operate a salon suite where I get to help women become beautiful or dive deeper into their beauty.
Yes, yes, I love it. Thank you so much for that. Now, let's get started on today's topic, ascending through beauty. And for my audience today, please, please, please feel free to put any questions you may have for my guests on today's, for my guests in the comments today. So let's break down ascending through beauty. Now, I wanted to bring up a quote here in a book here by Sister Ava Muhammad, Dr. Ava Muhammad. We have natural beauty here. And I wanted to read something that she had in here, just a little something that I thought was amazing. Now, it says here that spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, and physically, in every single aspect of our existence, our goal is to be beautiful. Indeed, in our very quintessence, hope I said that right, so excuse me, we are to completely represent beauty. When we unnaturally suppress the deep desires to be beautiful, when we pretend that we don't really care how people view us, when we claim we do not care about our appearance, then we deny the very essence of our being. May Allah be pleased with you, Sister Ava.
Yes.
Yes, so I also want to just break down like what is beauty, right? So I have here beauty is the quality presence in a thing or person that gives intense pleasure or deep satisfaction to the mind, whether arising from sensory manifestation as far as shape, color, or sound, a meaningful design, or a pattern or something else as a personality in which high spiritual qualities, and manifest. Now, however, how can one ascend through the amazing quality of beauty? And that brings me to my first question for you, Miss Kiana. Now, what is ascension?
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's very wonderful that you pulled a quote from that book because part of where I developed this concept is from that book, not only from that book by Dr. Ava. May Allah be pleased with Dr. Ava. Definitely a star within our ranks and a star in the world, not of the world, but in the
Yes.
yes. So ascension in essence is elevation. Um,
Hmm.
a method and means another word for elevation. We'll just say that for now. Um,
Hmm.
Now, as far as beauty, I do love that definition of beauty. Another definition of beauty that I love that I found was a stimulation of uh, physical and spiritual, of your physical and spiritual body. So I
Mm.
uh, love that. Um,
Yes.
Yeah, so, okay, as far as ascending through beauty, the definition of beauty that I pulled out from the book is being in accord. in one with the nature in which you were created. So beauty to me in essence is obedience to God. And
Mm.
to God you have no you only have an option to elevate and to ascend. So in essence that is my definition of beauty. So sorry someone walked by. My definition of is being in accordance and in obedience with God, which solidifies your ascension or your elevation.
Yes, ma'am. I love that. Thank you for that. I think that we miss that when it comes to what beauty is. We see a lot of the surface in regards to beauty,
Mhm.
which plays a role in it, but I believe just being able to elevate on a higher level in a spiritual aspect is where the real beauty lies. That brings me to my next question for you. Now, what started your journey through ascending through beauty?
Okay, so I've always had a talent to style hair from a very young age, but I didn't. It wasn't necessarily something that I wanted to pursue. You know, and
Mm,
people, oh, you should do this. It's your talent. You should do. You should do. And I'm like, oh yeah, but I want to be a writer. I want to be an author. You know, with so many other things that I thought I wanted to do. It wasn't until some of my younger sisters started having friends come over to my home to get their hair done, and they were like, be spilling all of their life stories. You know, like one girl literally like fell out the chair onto the floor and she was crying, and
oh God.
like, oh my goodness. At that moment, I realized like I think this is something like it's bigger than hair. It's deeper than hair. You know, like
Mhm.
people are coming to me for different reasons, you know, and they would bring friends and people that weren't even getting their hairstyle, you know, just to kind of hear some wisdom or hear some light, you know, or hear or see a different perspective that they weren't getting in other places. You know,
Mm.
as I would play the minister, play some of the lectures, and you know, I noticed how I really touch people, and I realized like, you know, I was touching people's hearts, not just their heads. You know, so
Yes.
you know, I have a friend that always said, you don't do hair, you do hearts. You know, so I kind of ran with that concept, and when I moved to Dallas, Texas from Ohio, with
Mhm.
people that I didn't know, you know, having to start in a whole different environment, I realized that you know it was still like the same things, and so I was like,
Mhm.
this is what I'm supposed to do, and I need to do it in another way. You know, I kind of wanted to get women so much away from just outer beauty, you know, just throwing some extensions in or some lashes or whatever we may consider beauty. And it gave me an opportunity to speak with these women and
Mhm.
for them my example just naturally, just by naturally being me, you know,
Mhm.
at their ear, um, to be able to reach their heart.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love that. So you use your gift that God gave you, Allah gave you, to not only just bring women physical beauty, but also allow them to see their beauty that is within their self.
Absolutely.
Oh God.
Absolutely. You know, because as women, we play such a key role in our beauty is important. You know, one of the reasons I believe that we were even created is to be beautiful, even physically beautiful, but most importantly to develop those inner qualities that will offer peace, consolation, and nurturing to our male counterparts and just
Mhm.
to the earth in general. You know, when a woman feels beautiful, she beautifies everything, which goes back to the quote that you pulled out. You know, there was
Mhm.
um, a time in my journey, even in cosmetology, where I would refuse certain services, you know, because I was even denying the fact that I wanted to be beautiful, you know, so
Mhm.
subconsciously denying other women their own beauty, you know, what they seen as beautiful and the fact that they wanted to be beautiful. You know, I was kind of only focused on inner beauty. But
Mhm.
I think every woman can say, you know, when we are beautiful, we're not as pleasant. And so I think it's equally important to be beautiful on the outside, um, as it is on the inside. And in the book, Naturally Beautiful Sister, Dr. Ava, she pulls out a lot of that when she talks about when a woman doesn't feel beautiful, she becomes
Mm.
drag, a drag to the community. And I'm like, ooh, I didn't think.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, that is so deep. I can definitely say that just me changing my mindset, just changing who I am, actually trying to really embrace my beauty, beyond my hair, beyond the makeup, beyond the showing and exposure of skin, being able to adjust to that was hard at first, but when I realized how beautiful I was, just more so just being me, and that's just being not just being me, well, being who we are. And like you said, natural beauty really comes from, being obedient to God and being what you have been called naturally to be. And
Mhm.
that kind of really just boosted me up in regards to being okay with covering myself, or being okay with not having makeup all the time, actually seeing who
Mm.
I am, like, wow, I actually got nice skin. And okay, well, it gives you a confidence because you know that your beauty is more than just, like I said, the makeup, the clothes, the hair extensions. Is who you are. We are naturally beautiful.
Yes,
We
we
are naturally beautiful. Like, so thank you so much for that, Sister Keyona. This is, I love this topic because like I stated, like I kind of say I kind of struggle with that only because, and I know I know you probably, me and you both, we see it every day with just the females and, social media, and just what they get praised for, just for, and we're not downing our sisters at all. We're not, downplaying playing them or saying anything bad about them, but just seeing how much of an effect it's having on our generation and our women to feel as if that they need certain things to basically be beautiful.
hmm
I want to know your opinion on, like, how do you feel about the influence that the society, the music industry, just the female role models in today's society have as far as an effect on our generation as far as being beautiful? What's your opinion on that?
um I think it definitely warps the idea of what beauty is.
Mm-hmm.
I think instead of elevating and uplifting, it actually pulls us down because it focuses on the wrong aspect of beauty. If inner beauty were focused on, then we would display a more natural outer beauty. It wouldn't be so superficial and washed up. A lot of times I think the outer beauty that we partake in today is just to cover up
Mm,
really our inner ugliness. The things that we don't necessarily like about ourselves. And that's the true work is there our inner work. And
mm,
when you truly work on your inner self, then you naturally become beautiful. Your skin starts to brighten up. You're more pleasant. Your whole
mm-hmm.
aura changes. Where you actually want to be beautiful, where you can actually admire in the natural beauty of yourself instead of picking yourself apart. So I think, I definitely think the enemy has taken control of what we consider beautiful. And
Mm-hmm.
we definitely need more examples of that inner beauty and women that can shine their beauty naturally, without having to go over the top. And even if you are using enhancements, it's just that it's an enhancement. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's not making you who you are. You know, you're not making up a completely different person.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Oh my gosh, yes. And I bring that up and I say that because, before I was able to really see my inner beauty, I used to put makeup on all the time, have my little extensions, all that, because it made me feel beautiful, and that's what it's supposed to do,
Hmm.
And then when I got to a point where I just stopped doing it, stop putting so many. I still have wear my little twisty braids in, probably get some braids in, but actually like weave, like not really doing a weave, not really putting on makeup every day. When I stopped doing that, I seen how much I was neglecting myself. Like, oh, my hair, like it's not how it needs to be because I'm not even paying attention to it because I'm more so just throwing something over. And like you said, it's like
Hmm.
we're covering it up, and it's only so long that we can hide and cover it up until it wants to express itself in certain ways that may not be pleasurable.
Hmm.
So, oh my gosh, I love this. This
It,
is
it
nice.
it typically does. It's going, whatever you're covering up inside, it's going to express itself. It's going to display itself
Hmm.
in your relationships or in some type of circumstance within your life. Some ugliness.
Yes, you said, oh, the ugly traits. We don't want to talk about the ugly traits, but we got to though.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. As a woman, I believe it is our duty to be beautiful, and not just beautiful on the outside, but beautiful on the inside. I think that's part of uh, why the first God even studied himself and brought a woman outside of himself,
Mm.
to ease some of his pain that he experienced. And that's from her being beautiful by being in submission to her nature.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Thank you so much for that. I heard you bring up just the quality of being beautiful. Do you mind letting us know, like, what are some inner qualities that makes one beautiful?
Well, some inner qualities that make a woman beautiful to me is submission. Um, is one of the top qualities that make a woman beautiful. And it may sound so easy, but I think it's something that a lot of women actually struggle with.
Keep it real.
Yeah, and just I'll just say people in general struggle with submission, but I think especially in today's society and
Hmm.
culture, women submitting is a huge problem,
Hmm.
something that many struggle with. I think if we could take that submission and place it towards God, we wouldn't struggle so much, and then we would actually even attract better. Where
Mm.
we're someone that has this unjust idea of submission that we feel that we can't agree with. Um,
Yes.
Patience, I definitely think, is part of being beautiful. Faith, having faith, um, is probably one of the biggest pieces of being beautiful after
Hmm.
submission. Because once you submit your will, now you have to have faith that
Yes.
have submitted to, is actually right and good for you, and
Mhm.
follow that out. Once you lose your faith, you lose everything, and that's
Yes.
the faith in your foundation of the truth that you believe and what you have been taught, and the faith for whatever personal mission that Allah has given you to carry out.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. You guys pick up, honestly, it's easier said than done. Again, we are still living in a world that is subject to not being not being submitted in
Hmm.
regards to what is truly real peace, what is truly real happiness, and that is being in alignment with God. So Understand it's going to take time for you to really, really dig down and deep inside yourself. That's why it's so important to really get to know yourself. Because even though you may see yourself as beautiful, and as me and Sister Keyona brought it up, there still may be some attributes about yourself that makes you ugly.
Mm.
And a lot of that has to do with your personality as well. So let's be real. What are some negative or ugly um inner beauty qualities that women tend to have?
Well, so I was thinking after you asked me that, you always think about these things. Um,
Yeah.
it actually mentioned to me earlier forgiveness, or should I say unforgiveness. Woo! Oh my goodness. Unforgiveness, I think, is a huge hindrance to us being beautiful. And then, of course, the opposites to being beautiful: impatience, um,
Mhm.
disobedience. Yeah,
Mm.
that I mean, when especially when you're talking about when you're relating this to a man who is in submission and obedience to God, a man after God's own heart, that disobedience and impatience is it doesn't matter how beautiful you are, it's straight ugly
Yes.
to a person that is striving to have a heart after God's own heart, and also
Mhm.
the lack of faith. But unforgiveness, I think unforgiveness is one of the biggest things that creates bitterness in our life.
Mhm.
Um, and it allows you, it disconnects you from what God is trying to do in your life. Also,
Yes,
I remember
exactly.
at one point I had so much pain. I just couldn't understand any of it. And I just had to stop. And I'm like, okay, I know Allah is not cruel. I'm like, I know, so this is for a reason. And it started to make me dig into the reasons that I was even experiencing certain things, which allowed me to be able to forgive, what
Yes.
that it actually did uh, serve a purpose in my life.
Mhm.
And I have to move forward, let it go and move forward.
Yes, yes. Forgiveness is a big one. I brought that up to you earlier. I brought that to you up earlier, everybody. This is before the show because yeah. I think we're all trying to get not I'm not speaking for everybody. But like I told Sister Keyona, I'm on this healing journey and I'm trying to get right. And I'm really starting to notice just some of the things that are still some ugly traits.
Mhm.
Some things that I really need to work on. And forgiveness is a big one. And just seeing and knowing people, just people that I know that's older than me and still holding resentment. Like you spoke earlier just about like no matter what those qualities within yourself, if you don't check it or handle it, it has no other way but to express itself. And if that's just, the changing of your skin or just, brittle hair or however way this this inner beauty as far as the bad qualities within yourself, it'll end up expressing itself, right? So I noticed that when people are mad for a long time or are holding resentment or upset, they look exactly how they feel. I said, "Oh gosh, are you mad? You okay? Need a hug?"
You mad? Yeah, it
Oh gosh.
it is definitely reflected in your skin, in your aura, in your countenance, like all of it. Like,
It's like there's no other way. Like it has to be like, okay, well, the body says you're upset and you're mad,
mhm,
so we're going to express this through pain, if it's arthritis, if it's a disease, if it's ugly teeth,
Yeah.
dark lips, like it's going to find its way until you handle it. And that is the beautiful thing about doing the inner work as
Hmm.
far as healing. So
Hmm.
I'm so glad that we are talking about inner beauty, ascending through beauty, because that's the way that one can ascend through beauty is actually noticing the things that are not allowing them to ascend.
Hmm.
That is being a hindrance,
Yes.
just as you spoke. So yes, Keyona, I am loving this. And if you all are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please, please, please show your support by donating today at Cash App $ Healing with Angelica. I will also leave more info to donate on the screen below. I love you all. Now let's get back to today's amazing topic, ascending through beauty with Sister Keyona Muhammad. So, Keyona, we did speak a lot about how God is just really just the foundation of our beauty for the most part. So, I want to kind of dig in a little deep on, how is Allah God a big part of our natural beauty, our inner beauty?
Well, I would say a lot, guys, a big part of our natural inner beauty. First of all, because we have to be satisfied with Allah in order to be satisfied with ourselves, and those two are kind of interchangeable. He is the author and creator of our beauty.
Mm-hmm.
He makes everything beautiful. Everything in creation is beautiful. If you look out into the cosmos or anywhere in his creation, it's matchless beauty. So being in alignment and knowing who we are and in submission into what he created us to be and how he created us to be, is the ultimate foundation of our beauty. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be beautiful if you're not in alignment with the line. You're not even going to survive on the planet Earth.
Let's be real.
Yes, and you won't even want to be physically beautiful without that foundation either. And it is also a duty to be aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
To
Exactly.
just like he creates the planets and the trees, they're aesthetically pleasing uh, to our eye. And
Yes.
something else that Sister Ava pointed out in the book, when you're not in alignment, that's when you're having all these skin eruptions, you got headaches, your stomach hurt, your back hurt, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"How you gonna pray to Allah? You got a headache." You know,
Okay.
you can't time with the lie. If you're disgruntled and bitter and you know unwilling to reflect on your life and understand the things that is going on and what Allah is saying to you, you just kind of become bitter and
Mm-hmm.
not fun to be around. You're impatient with the children. You don't
Mm-hmm.
your husband. You know, jealousy and envy can creep in with
Mm-hmm.
other women that are in alignment with themselves and are happy uh, with the beauty and submission to Allah and being beautiful with Allah. You know, you start feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
It's just time to get your own self in alignment and see what Allah God wants for you. And
Mm.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes. All praise be to Allah. Oh wow. My bad, you guys. You see me looking off. I was actually, as Sister Keyona was talking, I've been doing a lot of studying, and she brought up something that reminded me of something. I was trying to go to it, but I couldn't find it, unfortunately. But just knowing that, like you stated, God is the foundation of all things. You know, He allows us to see how beautiful we are. And I think just me knowing and then me coming into the knowledge of self and being able to even experience life and then being able to have the gratefulness of getting the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the fact that the woman is the second self of God, that's all I needed to know. So that what? That's all?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
ma'am. Yes, that second self. That second self. That is, before he created son, he created woman, right?
Mm,
That says so much to what our role is, and the importance that we play in this whole grand scheme of things. Even to go further, when you're in alignment and you can be in alignment and submission, you go even deeper into
mm-hmm.
a divine beauty, because when she was saying, if you have a headache, how you want to talk to God. So when you're in alignment and you can eliminate certain things, certain frustrations and bitterness and anxieties, which is why we have our refuge prayer as well,
Yes.
you can tap into those higher qualities, where now you're getting into forgotten information that's stored in our subconscious, and you can be that intuition for your household or for your partner. You can bring up certain things that maybe he doesn't see, or, certain
Mm-hmm.
details that maybe the male counterpart doesn't see. So now you're getting into being the oracle, your
Mm-hmm.
eyes for your family. You can actually play uh, that female role, when you're dealing with that family unit, that holy trinity, the one and the nine. You have the man and the woman. You could properly come together to produce
Yes.
a child, and carry on God's vision to create community and nation. But we get stuck at being a grouch.
Being listen, yeah, we do. And th- just even I think, when you're on this journey of ascending through beauty, even you just taking the first step of acknowledging that, okay, like even if you can't, of course, you gotta understand, unfortunately we've been indoctrinated and all these years and yada yada yada, which the black people should know this. So we have been subject to other people's narratives in regards to ourselves, which has downplayed our beauty in so many ways, especially the woman, just in
Hmm.
regards of us being raped, abused, and all kinds of things. So, and I'm gonna want you to elaborate on this before we end the show. Um, just the first step of just having the acknowledgement of being aware that um, there's something that you need to work on. Being aware is how you'll be able to level up in consciousness and be able to ascend because you notice that, okay, Angelica or Keyona, okay, this made me mad. Why am I mad? Why am I upset? Because what we'll do is the first thing we do, will react, especially if it's something unpleasant. So when we understand that, okay, because your reaction says a lot about you as well, you know, and how beautiful you are. And because, you people want to know and would like to see, like, how would you handle, situations that are unpleasant, that are, not friendly to you, and what's your response to that? So being able to just be self-aware of the qualities of the bad habits that you portray, is, to me, I feel like just the first step in just trying to ascend through beauty, the first step of trying to do something about just just growing into that natural beauty that God has all called all of us to be, black man and black woman. So
Hmm.
before we end the show, I want you to, if you don't mind, just giving us some tips on some things that we can do to start implementing ascension through beauty.
Yes, ma'am. I agree. Being aware, and with awareness, you simply have to be made known. Um, I think that, like you say, you have to acknowledge that something is wrong, and then you need to seek out what is wrong. Seek out those feelings. You can even start with searching up why what those feelings are. What is this feeling? And then go from there. Um, that's kind of what I did. I
Mm.
realized that I was codependent. And I had to analyze, like, why am I always saying yes when I mean no? And that
Yes.
just kind of started a long cycle. Because it ends up making you not beautiful.
Yeah.
Because you
Being out, yeah, you right.
along the way. So I think first it has to be a desire to want to be better. First, you need to know that you need to be better, and it has to be a desire to want to be better, and then seek out that help and seek out the ways to get that help. Really sit with yourself. Whatever you typically do to avoid yourself, don't do that anymore.
We do that a lot. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with it, so whatever.
yeah. Like call someone to even
Yeah.
go spend money, unnecessarily, or even go over the top with some beauty routine,
Mhm.
mask out whatever you're feeling inside. I think acknowledging those feelings first and seeing what those feelings are, and seeking out the help, seeking out the information that you need. One thing that I have found along the way, because there is so much information out there, is
Yeah.
going back to God's word. Like, man, when you keep it simple, it, he already like promises you everything. He already tells you all the answers.
Yes.
It's so cut and dry. Do this and you'll get this. Do this and you'll have this.
Yes.
We find all of these other things to do, but simply seeking assistance through patience and prayer is number one, and he'll guide you to those things. You may get an inclination, just go sit outside and look at the clouds, and like literally an answer comes from those moments. So I think sitting still, being still with yourself, and listening for God and talking to God, and first of all asking God for the help that you need, and He sends those people and those tools and those resources into your life.
Wow. Yes, 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 Sister Kiana. I love it. Thank you so much, Kiana, for joining me again on this amazing topic, ascending through beauty. I would also like to thank my amazing audience and Healing Tribe for joining us today. I pray this episode was informative, healing, and valuable to you all. Also, please be sure to give us your feedback, share, and subscribe to so you don't miss out on any upcoming new episodes on any of your favorite podcast stations and or on my YouTube channel, Healing with Angelica Podcast, or Closing the Gap Broadcast Network on Facebook and YouTube to help get the message out to those in need of healing. Also, if you are ready to start your healing journey, my ebook, Heal Yourself, is just for you. As I break down the steps you should take to start your healing journey to become your best self. To purchase the ebook today, please be sure to check in today's show notes, and which will also include information for today's amazing guest, Miss Keyona Muhammad. Please be sure to follow her. I have her information down here on the screen as well. Sister Keyona, before we end today's show, do you have any closing remarks for today's audience?
Yes, I do. So I just want to be a reminder that where there are no decent women, there are no decent men. And part of that decency is being beautiful on the inside and out.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Such a great reminder. Make sure y'all have that in y'all notes. Where there is no decent women. What is that? What's that again? No decent women, no decent men. So we gotta get ourselves together, ladies.
Yes.
We can't keep blaming the men for why they doing things. What you doing too, sis?
Okay.
Get your beauty right because they'll follow along as long as we get ourselves together.
Especially that inner beauty.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Inner beauty first.
Yes.
Don't neglect your physical, but inner beauty is what is more important. So I love that, Sister Keyona. Thank you so much again for joining me. And thank you so much to my amazing healing tribe. I love you all so much. And we leave you all as we came. Peace and healing.
Peace and healing.